How about Cal State University Channel Islands on the phone with us? We have political science faculty member and former Peace Corps volunteer, Christopher Scholl. Good morning.
Good morning.
And also online, Cal State University Channel Islands alumnus, Allison Lucas. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
And we also have Kim. Kim, good morning.
Good morning. Pretty soggy out there, but happy to be here.
It's a little damp for a President's Day, but I'm sure people will find something to do eventually today. So we are looking at the volunteer. First of all, Allison, you did volunteering for the Peace Corps in Madagascar.
I did, yes.
Wow, can you tell us what an experience that must have been? Give us a little bit of background on how you served in the Peace Corps and what you did, especially in Madagascar.
Yeah, so I graduated from CI in the spring of 2022. After I graduated, I went into Peace Corps. I was an education volunteer teaching English at a rural high school in a small town called Alakanusi and Buma. And so my days were teaching, and then I had a secondary project that I worked on with my principal on getting water to the school. The school was located about 3 miles from the town center, and the nearest water source was a local rice field. However, that water was contaminated, and the farmers often got mad at the students for fetching too much water. So I spent all of my off time riding my bike around town, interviewing people. I rode up the bus to the nearest city to a cyber cafe for Wi-Fi to research.
Boy, a cyber cafe.
Yeah, cyber
It's
cafe.
like back to the 90s. That's crazy.
It was super awesome. And I found an organization called Top Tiranu on Facebook, and I messaged them. And then we kept connecting. I secured a USAID grant through Peace Corps and took a team of Masons to the south of the country to learn about the rainwater harvester. We trained 5 male Masons and 2 female Masons and started building rainwater harvesters in my region. And eventually I knew I wanted to continue this project past Peace Corps, and we founded a 501c3 nonprofit called Zarasoa.
And Doctor, let's talk about the courses you teach at Cal State University Channel Islands.
Yeah, I teach classes in international relations and global studies. So just trying to inform students about, sort of what's going on out there in the world, from economics to development to international organization, whatnot. So that's taking place.
Placing of folks, students, if you will, for college into the Peace Corps as volunteers. What's the process there, Doctor?
Well, we actually are lucky. We have we work with the Peace Corps, so we have what's called a Peace Corps Prep program, and we're one of very few universities in the state of California that has it. And it's a series of classes they can take, and it provides them linguistic, cultural, and area-specific background to better enable them to be Peace Corps volunteers. And we've had a long string of volunteers that have been graduates of our school, going back 15, 16 years at least. So we've been fairly successful at getting people into the organization, and they've served all over the world.
Skill set must be something else that you're looking for in these students, multitasking, everything they'd have to be able to take in being part of the Peace Corps.
Yes, being adaptable is probably the name of the game. So being able to learn on your feet, adapt to what's going on, and situations are always, every volunteer's position and work and specific situation is sort of completely different. So, there's kind of broad tools, but then that ability to sort of adapt on the fly is critical.
Let's talk about the nonprofit and how it works, how it actually functions and helps.
Yeah, so we raised money stateside to train Masons in Madagascar and build buy materials needed to construct our rainwater harvesters. And we work mostly in public schools and are now expanding to hospitals. So far, we've built 6 systems in our local municipal commune area, and that has a total capacity of 85,000 liters of harvesting rainwater. And then we also work with the community to create a sustainable maintenance system and a repair plan for the tanks. some schools have planted gardens, and they use the money they make from the garden produce to maintain the tank.
Let's talk about Zarasoa and what it means and what's unique about the program.
Sure, yeah. So it is a Malagasy word, and it translates to share good. And sharing good is basically the foundation of our work and our philosophy. Basically, we just share ideas that promote happy, healthy communities. And essentially, it started by sharing an idea to harvest rainwater, and the product of that dialogue was clean water for event now 5,000 plus students. And we also really care deeply about preserving and showcasing Malagasy culture and it being a cultural exchange. As Peace Corps volunteers, we were taken in by the families in our communities and shown the world from a whole new perspective. And we really hope to share the beauty of Malagasy culture through our nonprofit work.
And Doctor, how do you get students interested in the Peace Corps? How do you describe that experience with luring them in? I remember, and luring sounds like there's a con going on here. It certainly isn't. But getting them to commit, I remember back in my day, and it was back then, it was honestly very, very mysterious, the Peace Corps. So how do you motivate the youngsters, the college students, to get into this program?
Well, luckily, since I teach classes on international relations and global studies, I can sort of incorporate part of my experience and my knowledge of the country I served in into literally integrated into the class material. So students that will take my classes learn about the country I served in and learn about what it is to be a Peace Corps and what I got out of it and all. And I think it makes it more tangible to them. And it's not just a sort of, one half hour or something like that presentation. It's kind of built into the actual material. And so throughout the semester, they hear bits and pieces. And it seems, I think, they gain interest and it seems something attainable and not completely exotic.
Interesting. So, plan on going back to Madagascar, Allison?
Yeah, so the future of the NGO really is in Madagascar with our Malagasy staff. They're the people who will be there for generations, and their children are there. And so we're working towards that in terms of the nonprofit. We do plan to visit from time to time, but our focus is really to just build the skills and capacity of our team in country. Personally, I do really hope to go back as soon as possible to Madagascar. It's a beautiful country, and I feel really at home there.
What if people want to find out more about Zarasoa? What do they do?
Yeah, so if you want to find out more, we have a website with all the information and a map of our project. It's spelled ZARASOA MATA.org. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We're also planning a fundraising event this summer at the Channel Islands Blackboard Gallery here in Camarillo, so we'd love to see people there as well.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Fascinating topic, Madagascar and the Peace Corps here on KVTA. Kim, what else is